Hey, Bad Christian here again, and today we're going to have a discussion about some of the things that are going on in the world, and we're just going to talk a little bit. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Go to the channel, check out some of my other content. But we're going to just have us a little conversation here today, listening with the Bad Christian, and we're going to talk about just some regular little world events that we're about used to hearing in the news at this point. It's kind of interesting to me how much crap is going on right now that it's unbelievable, some of the stuff that's going on out there right now. The government shutdown is looming, and at the same time you got Pete Hegeseth, who's calling all these military leaders in for some reason. They won't tell us quite what. It's secret. We don't need to know. But even though we might let the government shut down, that's an interesting thing to me anyway. Let the government shut down. Is the government going to shut down, guys? If they don't get more money, is the government going to shut down? And whose problem is the shutdown? This quote-unquote shutdown. We're used to furloughs and stuff like that. Now they're talking about firing people. I mean, fear. Everybody be worried. It's not going to get to continue on. If we don't do something now, why? Who is we? Who is we that needs to do something? What needs to happen here? Because I thought the whole point of cutting spending and doing the things that we were doing was to balance the budget. But, you know, it's just interesting to me that no matter how much we balance the budget out there, nothing seems to change. They're always wanting more money. And you know what? You know whose fault it is? You know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you it's our fault. It's the people's fault, okay? It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. The truth is that it's none of our faults. We had nothing to do with this. This is not our job to keep this thing running. America, you have done your part. You have done more than your part, to the point where they've got you upset about giving a few $1 million to help needy people in America, regardless of citizenship or not. I mean, think about it. We have done our part, America. I cannot make a living by not balancing my checkbook. And not to mention, do I only have to balance my checkbook, but I also have to make sure that I account for the money that I bring out so that they can balance their checkbook, which never, ever happens. Funny, the last time we seen that happen in my lifetime was under Bill Clinton. I'm not a Clinton fan. I know he was a fan of Epstein, like most of the others that are in Washington right now. Seems to be kind of well, wasn't that the whole thing? Like, he had all these important people that he basically had underneath his thumb, and there were high-end government people that could use that influence and use those things to get leverage to make things happen that were, you know, like lobbying, but without actually paying. Well, I guess they paid. They paid in human trafficking, which seems to be something was supposed to be something that we're battling here, but all of a sudden, you know, some of the people that are ahead of some of the largest human trafficking rings, all of a sudden, there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, folks. We're doing our job completely. We're fully transparent, they'll tell you. But at the same time, the reason all this is going wrong, it's the people's fault. You know, this has to do with the people and the hatred. You know, people want to talk about brainwashing. My goodness. Both sides, guys, both sides. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you it's not about the right. I'm here to tell you it's not about the left. Neither one of them are chasing truth. Nobody's chasing truth. It's all agenda. All of it's agenda. And all of it's paid for by lobbyists from all over the world. Businessmen that run businesses not only in our country but in other countries. It's all bought and paid for. All your politics is bought and paid for. Every bit of it. We're not having real conversations out here. Instead, when the thing is oh, hey, I need to be accountable for having to make sure that this budget passes. This is our job. This is what we've elected you people to do. When your answer to that is, look at the other side. The other guys aren't cooperating. That should never be an answer. Imagine going to how many people in America have a job and that type of thing would play out where they work? Oh, well, You failed to frame that wall today. You were supposed to get that framed. You didn't do nothing but sit over there on your lunch bucket and drink Monsters and rip Zins. Oh, well, it's not my fault. It's Harry's fault over there because he's capable of getting both done, but he didn't. It's the same crap going on, man. These are the same people that are supposed to be taking care of these things, pointing at other people saying, I didn't get my job done because of them. They stopped me from doing my job. You think that they care about a government shutdown? I wish a government shutdown were that easy. If we could just stop all this crap and get people that actually would be willing to do something in the interest of the American people, it would be awesome if it'd be so easy. Just stop giving them money. Stop giving them money. But guess what? All the big people up at the top, they're not going to stop getting money. It doesn't matter if they do stop getting money. They've got plenty. What does it matter to them? They don't care if policies that are going on and the things that are going on in this nation right now, like a direct attack on our food supply, will make a loaf of bread cost $26 an hour. Who cares? Who cares? They don't care. They've got plenty. When they say that they're making it great, they're making it great for them, not for us. Life just continues to get harder, and it's one clown show after another out here. One clown show after another. And everybody wants to look at the other side and go, they're the brainwashed ones. So no, you're all brainwashed. Because, okay, let's take, for instance, let's take the whole Antifa thing going on right now. Let's talk about that for a minute. Antifa was just declared a terrorist organization, and now it's war. War on American soil. These are the words being used by the people that want to take your tax money, that need to appropriate that money, why we have to be shut down, to go into American communities and go after American citizens who they deem terrorists at this point. Is this where we started? Remember when we first started, this wasn't about going after American citizens. No, we would never do such. This was about going after criminals. And we started there. People said, yeah, that's okay, you can go after them. Why are we going after them? Oh, because they're hungry and they need social services, and you shouldn't have to put up with that, America. Meanwhile, you got Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump meeting right now about, I hope he shuts them down. I mean, I'm not anti-Israel. I'm pro-biblical Israel, but that's not what we're dealing with here. But it's interesting to me how billions and billions of dollars can continue to go over to bomb kids in other countries and starve people in other countries, and we're supposed to support the starvation of others and not for 1 second ever go, what are we spending the most money on here? When you're worried about a few pennies that are left over out of the dollar that they spent for munitions for another country to use at their will. Who should you be mad at? Should you be mad at the Democrats? Should you be mad at the Republicans? Or should you be paying attention to what the institution is doing? These are the things that we should be talking about. We shouldn't be out here complaining and crying because there's illegal immigrants in our country and they're causing harm to our economy. You tell me how that's doing harm to our economy. You got people coming to America doing the work. I don't like even repeating this because it's echo chamber stuff. But doing the work that most Americans don't want to do. You're going to put tariffs on American food and at the same time take those. I thought we were going after criminals. Now we're going into farm operations and we're gutting farm operations while we drive the price of foreign goods up. I mean, that's a direct attack on your food supply. At what point, as Americans, do we stand up and go, hey, man, I know that I voted for you, bro, but probably shouldn't do that, man. You should probably do what's in our best interest. And if he's got some kind of great 4D plan, because I keep hearing this, plays 4D chess, yeah, I don't know who he's playing for, but let us know something. If there's a real reason behind all this, talk about it. But it's always, oh, well, I've got a plan. Don't worry, I've got a plan. And that plan just keeps mutating and mutating. At first, we were going after criminals. Now we're going after farm workers. Now we're going after, it's war on Americans. It's declared civil war, people. That's civil war. When you declare that you're going to call these people terrorists who are clearly American citizens, most of them are, you know this, college students, who by everybody's understanding on the right are brainwashed kids. Why would your response be, hell yeah, send the military? Why would your response be that ever? Ever. They're people just like you and me. They're kids. If they're brainwashed, then why are you sending the military? The same people who got their platform speaking about these things are the same people that got their platform by saying freedom of speech. I have a right to stand out here, and I have a right to cheer for Trump. I have a right to stand out here amongst all this pride stuff and these events that were not oriented towards the political agenda that I favor. I have a right to stand out here and stick out like a sore thumb. These are how these people got their platforms to propagate this stuff. And these same people are in the public square now going, these people need to be held accountable for their words. The same people that got their platforms off of freedom of speech are the same people who are encouraging the rest of others for standing in the street protesting. And a lot of you are going to say, oh, no. They're only going after the violent ones. These are violent people. They're burning stuff down. They're burning buildings down. You know, we're going to start in Portland, you know, where we had the Summer of Love back in the day, I guess. Summer of Love. It was not a summer of love. I don't agree with that. It was a terrible situation. All the stuff that happened over George Floyd, all that stuff was absolutely horrible. There was no reason to go in there and do the things that they did, but at the same time, it's no different than January 6th. And here's why. Because you got the same FBI agents and CIA agents, and they're in there, and they're in plain clothes, and they're provoking violence. And so that same empathy as somebody who supports what happened on January 6th and those people that got pardoned from January 6th and the things that happened on apply that to others. Try that. Try putting the shoe on the other foot. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm asking. I'm not supporting either side. I think they're both ridiculous. But the truth is that when damage is being done, damage is being done. And a lot of the times, when that damage is being done, it just seems to conveniently coincide with political events and things that are happening in the world. I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk was a bad guy, and I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk was a great guy. It's not my job to decide that. It's not my job to judge that. But the movement that he started and how Turning Point got going and the people that made it what it was not much different than the lobbyist political actions that we see happening in the government, which is what we're standing up to stop, right? When it's all about the donors, you know? And so maybe when we look in on that situation and we go, hey, if you're on the left, you should be looking at it going, that's horrible. If you're on the right, you should be looking at it going, that's horrible. You should be. But if you fought for the right to stand in the street and say, I don't care about that, don't get mad when somebody else is standing in the street saying, oh, he got what he deserved. If you got your ticket to fame and your ticket to wealth and your ticket to being a major influencer in this movement was to stand up amongst the people that disagreed with you in public squares and say what was not popular amongst that group of people, the last thing that you should be doing is calling for the people who are on the opposition to you. Yeah, it's horrible. Yes, I agree with you. Nobody should ever be standing in public square saying, I'm glad so-and-so died. That's horrible. Nobody should be making posts saying, pew, pew, let's kill these people. That's horrible. But at the end of the day, it's too convenient. Too convenient. Now you've got Antifa being declared a terrorist organization, which, like I said, is going to be 99% American students. They're college students, most of them, people. They're just kids on the street with crowbars and bullhorns and purple hair. And you're going to bring guns to the show. As Republicans, as people who come from conservative backgrounds, and you understand what that, an AR-15 is not a weapon of war. Okay, so why are we declaring that this is war in the street? This is not a war. Okay, these are not weapons of war. Why are the words war being used by these people? Why are we literally in the open waging war against each other? That word is being used. We should be thinking about these things. These things should make us pump the brakes, take a step back, and say, okay, what am I supporting right now? That's what we should be doing. We shouldn't just be saying, well, I stand on this side, so the other side, they're so evil, they're so hateful. They're so hateful. Because they're so evil, they're so hateful, they are glad that somebody got executed in public, so I'm going to be okay with sending military in on them. Screw them, get rid of them. That's how the devil does it, man. He dupes you. He dupes you into hating your brother. He dupes you into hating your neighbor. He dupes you into hating the stranger. That's the biblical word for immigrant, for all those who don't know. Jesus was big time against that. Big time. His whole thing was number one. His whole thing, number one, take care of your people. Go to Matthew 24, read through that a little bit. Take a time to look at that, because most of that scripture right there is Jesus speaking directly to the rulers of the nations. Telling them, hey man, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was thirsty, you didn't give me drink. When I was an immigrant, you didn't take care of me. You didn't look after me. That's the judgment for the people that push those things and have the ability to make those changes in the earth, see? Not every piece of scripture was intended for every single man, woman, and child. Some of that is directed to the people who have the power to actually change things, which most of us don't. Most of us don't possess that power. I'm speaking into a microphone, doing what I can, and that's why I'm speaking about what I'm speaking about. Because if I'm truly chasing after the truth, if I'm truly going after what is right and what is wrong, to try to sort out what is and what isn't, I need to start with love. Where's the love at? And when I look around at the political atmosphere, say, okay, well, there's only love for people in your own party to the point where you'll shut your eye to the conversation on the other side, that defeats the point of politics. Politics is not meant to be an argument. It's meant to be a discussion. We should be able to come together in a room and say, okay, here's my ideas. Okay, here's my ideas. Well, what can we do? Why do you believe that? Well, I believe that because of this. Well, why do you believe that? Well, I believe that because of this. And we should be able to have civil, the word is civil, dialogue about these things. But politicians can't even do that nowadays. And it's beyond disgusting. It's an abomination, really, if you think about it. Their whole goal should be to be the diplomats that solve these issues. They're supposed to be the utmost image of what that civility is supposed to look like. And you get hatred from both sides. You get people on the left telling them, if you see these people out here, go bother them. And now you got people on the right. Well, they said it was okay, so now all of a sudden it's not okay. If we send the military in and ICE in to do this, and now we're going to declare this. What? Guys, it's the same evil on both sides. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. It may be wearing a different color, but it's the same creature, man. There's no reason for us to be fighting over these things in the streets. And every time we stand out there and we fight each other over these things, we feed that monster as it stands over top of us and just guides us around with its little finger. We're like little ants. He's just popping us, man. It's terrible. You know, Obama was the deporter-in-chief. His politics were no different than Trump's. Think about it. And you know what? The guy who came after him, that administration, they had the same politics. You can find it for yourself. Go out there and look it up. They were all fighting against illegal immigration. Now, the Biden and Harris administration, they did push for a path of legal citizenship, which should have been a discussion in the room. I don't understand why that never even got received as a rational discussion in the room. And don't let the way that they zoom in on these things get you confused, because it's so clever. It's so clever. You know, they'll say, hey, $156 million went to feeding immigrants last year. And people that probably didn't need it. They were 400 pounds and they needed fudge rounds. And then at the same time say, you know what, we're going to send $6.4 trillion over here for war. Trillion. I mean, we're not even talking pennies in the bucket at this point in comparison. So you have to kind of step back and look at the big picture. What's really going on here? You might say, well, yeah, I support, military presence around Antifa because they've done bad things in the past. Okay, I can respect that opinion. But if you want to be intellectually honest about the conversation, step back and say, okay, is this where it started? Because the people that were on the other side of that opinion were saying, when Trump started saying, I'm going to go after MS-13 and I'm going after immigrants, that it wouldn't be long and it would be American liberal citizens next. And you all looked at him and said, you're crazy. Conspiracy theorist. You guys have lost your mind. You're not in touch with reality. Well, here it is. Here it is, people. It's happening. It's happening right now. So just take a step back. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying take a step back and pay attention to what's going on from as a whole a perspective as you can get it from. It's easy for people to trick us into thinking that we're thinking the right way because if we don't pick this one, then you had to pick this other one, and if you pick that other one, then it's the lesser of two evils. Well, let me tell you this, people. We're just going to part on this word. If you're picking evil, you're not picking good. And don't call that which is evil good, and that which is good evil. I hope everybody has a great day out there. Till next time, this has been Bad Christian. Enjoy your day.